Hey, what's going on, sluts? This is Taylor, and I am doing a Twitter question and answer video. So if you guys want to get involved in these at any point, feel free to follow me. First link in the description below. In addition, I would ask that if you're watching this now and this is a new video, go check out the live session on Moon that I'm doing right now, and not on Zombies. Really tits, great, and you're gonna love it, guaranteed, or your money back. And you don't even pay anything to be here, so Jesus, like you got nothing to lose really, except for a few minutes, which I guess there's no amount of money you can place on time, since it's really the only non-renewable resource that we really have. So maybe oil in addition, but there's probably a way to make oil, maybe. I don't know, in the future. Who's to say? Who's to say? But anyway, I've already frittered away 40 seconds now of your valuable time that I've already established is worth more than anything money can buy. So let's get on to the Twitter suggestions. First, from Mr. DeLorean97. Talk about the best movies of all time. There's plenty Back to the Future to choose from. Obviously, Mr. DeLorean thinks Back to the Future is the best, which, I guess that makes sense. DeLorean's your name. I did enjoy Back to the Future a lot. I didn't like the subsequent ones as much. I really thought they kind of drilled it into the ground. The first one was great, though. Favorite movies of all time, I'd have to say Lord of the Rings, Return of the King is up there. Gladiator is up there. Let me think. There are just so many great movies, you can't even narrow it down. I didn't get into the Harry Potter movies as much as everyone else. Like, when the Harry Potter phase was just going crazy, I still went to a religious school, and for some reason, people just really didn't like Harry Potter with, religion. Every time people said something like that, I wanted to be like, what the hell are you complaining about? You believe in the Bible, there's hellish magic going on in the Bible, but if a little kid in England wants to do it, he can't have fun? That's not fair. I don't discriminate with my magic policy. I think if a Jewish dude in the Bronze Age wants to do a little bit of magic, and then if a young boy with goofy glasses and a scar and, a bunch of goofy, eccentric friends wants to do magic, I say let him have at it. Have a little bit of fun. Who am I to judge? Other good movies, let's think. Oh, speaking of movies, I saw Prometheus last night, and it was fantastic. I think I'm going to do a whole video reviewing that movie, but I'll try and review it in a way that it doesn't have spoilers, because I always hate watching a review and then I accidentally hear something from the movie, and then I'm like, oh shit, now the anticipation is ruined because I know the ending. But it was a fantastic movie, very entertaining. I think it's like a prequel almost to Alien. I think that might be the case. I'm not sure, though. Could be wrong on that, but it seemed very, very similar. So, next one. Didn't answer your question that well, because there are just too many movies. It's like when someone asks me what are my favorite books, because I can't just narrow it down off the top of my head. There are so many good ones. The one that comes to mind right now as far as favorite books would have to be, obviously, once again, Lord of the Rings, which Lord of the Rings isn't even my favorite book because it's written well, because really the writing isn't that fantastic. It's just the story itself. But right now, Game of Thrones is awesome, and the fact that Ray Bradbury died yesterday, that made me think of how much I enjoyed Fahrenheit 451, or of his texts, but I enjoyed that. Lots of good stuff. Oh, Jesus. Sorry, I just laughed right there because I saw a squirrel fall out of a tree outside my window. Jesus. Anywho, the Weird 200. Talk about bugs. Well, Jesus, man. I don't know what you want me to talk about. I'm no bug expert. I can't just come up with shit off the top of my head and just make it up. I'd have to say if I had a favorite bug, it would be... On a badass level, I think I like the Japanese hornet because that thing is huge and dangerous, but it's more of like something you'd want to admire from afar, like the videos online where it just tears the shit out of regular bees and owns their faces, and like 30 of them take on like 1,000,000 regular honeybees, which is kind of sad, big bee genocide, but you move on. I didn't cry too much over that, but from a badass perspective, I like the Japanese hornet, but from like an actual perspective of coolness that I'm not afraid of, just like that's cool. I wouldn't mind if one of these was like laying on my arm right now. I would. I'd probably freak out. But like those horned rhinoceros bugs, those things are so badass, and they can grow to be like the size of your hand or some shit. Like you can keep one of those as a pet, and like you wouldn't even you would probably lose that thing less than you would lose a cat, honestly. Which, I mean, I guess that's convenient because I would never get a cat either, I don't think, just because I'm not a cat person, not a big fan of cats. They don't want to be around you. If you think that your cat enjoys you, it doesn't. It does not enjoy you. It will scratch your eyes out the first time it thinks it's an opportunity for it. You trust me on that. Vicious little creatures. All right. PK Lounging. Would you rather see Jenna Marbles do 100 jumping jacks without her shirt, or iJustine? Well, that is a very interesting question. Both of them, they look pretty similar to me. They're both, attractive, thin, blonde, blue-eyed, women, you know, both very, very attractive, more attractive than any girl I could ever hope to get with in real life. So this is a great fantasy. I would have to say Jenna Marbles though, just because I think her face is more attractive. That sounds pretty crass, but I don't know. iJustine, very attractive woman, but I'm gonna have to go with Jenna Marbles. Also because even though I don't think Jenna Marbles' videos are very funny. And by not very funny, I mean completely, you know, not funny at all. Like, but hey, everybody seems to like it. But I don't really know if it's people watching her videos because they want to be entertained, because they think she's just a beacon of hilarity in this dark, dank pit of the internet, or maybe they watch them because they're a bunch of 12 and 13-year-old boys who are too afraid of their parents getting caught looking at porn, so they just go to YouTube and look up videos of Jenna Marbles in a V-neck or something, and they get off to that, which is a realistic thing, you know, that there's a market out there for getting to those guys who really want to look at porn, but they're like, shit, I don't want to let my parents know that I look at porn, and so they just go on YouTube and look up videos of, you know, attractive ladies doing their thing there. Hence reply girls, you know. Look at some of the reply girls. They're not even mildly attractive, most of them, and they're not putting anything forth of intellectual merit. It's just them sitting there with their boobs lazily kind of pushed together a little bit, and usually they're not even that great of boobs, but just doing their thing, and people watch it. And even though it gets a lot of down ratings, you know, they still get the views. They still get that money at the end of the day. So I'm going to go with Jenna Marbles. I completely took a random tangent off that question. My bad, Mr. PK Lounge. Titus Sean, are you an only child? If no, who are your siblings and do you like them? If yes, who do you want for a brother besides Max? Oh, he's referring to Max, a buddy of mine who makes Pokemon and Sonic videos over on his Let's Play channel, and he's been one of my best friends for as long as I can remember. Really great guy. But I am not an only child. I am not an only child. I have two younger brothers. One is 19, one is 14, and of course I like my siblings. The one who's 14, I'm far away from him in age enough. There's enough distance there, like 7 years, that I really don't, you know, I didn't have the opportunity to get into a lot of fights with him, you know. The one who's 19, when we were younger, we used to bicker and squabble all the time, just because that's the nature of the beast. If you're that close in age, because I'm not even 2 years older than him, I'm like between a year and a half and 2 years. I'm 21, he's 19, and you just get in a ton of fights over stupid menial bullshit, because when we were little kids and we'd share a room, we'd get pissed about just, oh, who gets to have the Game Boy light on tonight, because they didn't have backlights back when we were playing, and we lost one of those little goofy contraptions you had to put on the top of the Game Boy, and you wanted to be able to shine the light down and play, and both of us would be hankering for that, and we only had one, and so we'd argue over that, and it was just, sometimes it would come to a physical altercation, but you know, I was older, so I won. Or usually I would just, you know, intimidate my way to the top, which is a great way to do it. But yeah, we get along great now. As you get older, you'll find that you get along with your siblings a lot better. At least it seems like if you get along with your sibling really well as a kid, you grow up and then you have a lot of animosity. But if you get along with them kind of poorly as a kid and you get all the evil out, all the disgust for one another, then once you get older, you kind of reconcile your differences. And you're like, oh, whatever, we've gotten through shit before. Nothing we can't handle now. So yes, I enjoy my siblings. Very, very glad that I'm not an only child, because I feel like that'd be boring for one. Not saying that, you know, to any only children out there, not saying that your life sucks by virtue of the fact that you have no brothers or sisters. I'm just saying, for me, I'm glad I had people to hang out with when I was little, even if they were younger than me. So it would have been really cool to have an older brother, I think. That would have been great, to have someone that you could look up to and just, you know, hang out with, and you could bother all of their friends, which that was the worst with my brothers. My youngest brother, when he was like 10 or so and I was 17, he'd always want to be hanging out with my friends, and it was just an awkward age where I was at that age where I just tried to be so cool and, you know, just chill and whatever, and I didn't want my little brother coming in and screwing with my shit. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Not to say that I'm still not cool and chill, which is totally counterintuitive. Chill and cool. Man, we have some weird terms going around nowadays. I wonder if people are still going to say that's cool in like 100 years. Who knows? Only time will tell, my friends.